Hello, everybody. My name is Zachary, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, I sincerely appreciate it. I just got started posting videos, and I'm excited to be able to share all the information that I've learned from being in Milan. So, if you don't know from my previous videos, I'm currently a design student going to the Politecnico di Milano. I am studying integrated product design. I want to give you some background of where I came from to this point. Originally, I'm from Arizona and I went to Arizona State University. I graduated with my Bachelor's of Arts in Art. Originally, I was an industrial design major, but I ended up switching to art, primarily because at the time when I was in industrial design, I didn't feel like my portfolio was strong enough to apply for the official program. How it worked at the school that I went to is you would go a whole entire year developing your designs, doing a few projects, and developing your portfolio. After that time period finished, then you would submit your portfolio. Different professors, different people in the program would look over your portfolio and decide if you actually had an official place in the program. Again, like I said, I didn't feel like I had a strong enough portfolio at the time, which now that I look back, I probably would have been fine, but I'm kind of a perfectionist with things. So I ended up switching to art. And the reason why I wanted to to art is because I wanted to really refine my drawing skills. I'm so glad I took the time to actually switch and do something like art because my drawing skills, when I look at my old sketches, I'm like, busted and crusted. But now I'm able to draw and communicate exactly what I want. So that's definitely helped. A lot of the classes that I would mainly take in art were life drawing classes. Life drawing classes were some of my favorite classes. If you don't know what a life drawing class is, it's a class that ranges anywhere from like 4 to 6 hours, and you have a nude model inside the middle of the room. Sometimes it can be fruit, sometimes it's like glasses and different types of setups. But normally with life drawing, you'll have like a nude body of somebody posing, and you draw, correct, and it really helps develop your drawing skills from sight and being able to understand proportions, which now when I can visualize things a lot better in my mind because I've had that practice of constantly drawing and creating something out of nothing. Alrighty, starting with the first picture of my portfolio. I worked with an incredible photographer who's based out of Austin, Texas. She was an incredible person to work with. I'll put her name down here. Her name was Whitney, or I'll put it in the description box. Absolutely, just a very kind person. I found her because I was trying to find a photographer to take a picture of all my portfolio and all my different products that I created. And I was looking at like a food photography. I don't remember exactly what I was looking at, but it was like food photography, agriculture photography. And I saw her photos and I was like, hey, this is amazing. I'm not sure if she shot people at the time, but I took a chance and I emailed her and she responded back to me in a couple of days. And we just went back and forth over the course of 2 months as I was finishing up the portfolio, and she agreed to shoot my portfolio, drove down to Austin, and we shot the whole entire thing. So this cover picture was in front of like this like foresty area in Austin, and I just walked back and forth. Here's the lightning. I gotta hurry quick. Anyways, just the first page, which is like an introduction of who I am, just to give them like a quick snippet. So the first product that I designed was this flashlight. Now, if you know me, you know I have a fetish, a kink for flashlights. I love flashlights so much. As a little kid, my mom bought me this whole pack of flashlights. I think it was for my birthday. There was 2 birthdays where I received flashlights. And as a kid, I remember, actually, was it 3 birthdays? I got flashlights for a lot of my birthdays, but the one I remember the best was my mom. She bought me this pack of flashlights, and it had like maybe 10 different flashlights, ranging from like small ones to big ones. This one with like a bendy neck to like a one with a huge spotlight. It was crazy. Because I was moving and COVID happened and everything shut down my studio, and just through the process during COVID, I didn't really want to focus on the electronics part. I knew how to do the electronics part to make the flashlight work, but in the time frame that I had, I just used Photoshop. Just use Photoshop if you don't have enough time or you just don't think you'll be able to do it like exactly how you think it will be. Just use Photoshop, make it look kind of pretty. So anyways, this flashlight, the way that it works is there's two modes. There is the extension mode as a lantern, and then there's the regular mode as a regular flashlight. So the concept is if the electricity goes out, you have the ability to use it as a lantern on your desk or use it as a flashlight to see. Now it also has two charging modes. So you can crank it on the back to charge it manually, or you can plug it through the either USB-A or USB-C type ports in the back into the wall. It also acts as a portable battery charger. And I actually have 3 modes of charging because the solar panel on the front as well will be able to charge the battery. So during the day, you'll be able to charge it and you will be able to have a full charge while you're working on whatever at night. So in this, I also have black gloves on. I made those gloves myself. That was a really fun project. If you want to see how I created the latex gloves, I posted the video a while ago on my TikTok. Again, please subscribe to my TikTok if you aren't subscribed so you can see some of the projects that I've done. I also have on here just a couple of basic like blueprints, schematics, just so they know that I have the ability to do tolerances and dimensioning, and so they can understand that I had that level of skill to be able to present to them. The Zachology, that used to be like the brand that I had to put everything underneath, but I've dissolved that since then, so I will have a new title, a new name for my studio. So another thing I want to point out as well is I also developed different flashlight bodies. So I wanted to show the progression. It's important in your portfolio to show the progression from the beginning to the end. So I basically did like a timeline of the different flashlights that I developed and printed. I took several different people's hands and I used measurements with my calipers, and I just would hold the flashlight to see if it was comfortable enough, and that's how I developed the size for the final flashlight body. Have a couple pictures. If I could go back, I would include a lot more of my sketches inside. I just didn't want, it was already almost 20 pages, and I didn't want to just, do too much, but I really wish I added more of my drawings and sketches because that's definitely my most strongest point. My next product that I was developing were these shoe soles. I wanted to design a full shoe, but like I said, with COVID and shutting down my studio at the university, I just didn't have access to everything that I would normally use to be able to create the upper part of the shoe. So I decided to just focus solely on the sole, no puns intended. And what I did is, the concept for this one was that you basically put the shoe on, and through the mechanical stresses of you walking, it creates electricity so that you're able to charge your phone when you're sitting down, when you're having lunch. I even thought about making it more of an athletic shoe, so you go for like a 30-minute run or a 20-minute run, and then during your cool down, you're able to charge your headphones. Because I remember when I used to run, I would always be running and then my headphones would die on me. But I wouldn't always be running the whole entire time. And so carrying a battery pack would not be the most comfortable thing, especially if you're going like a long distance run. So being able to integrate the technology into the shoe itself, I thought was a clever idea to me. Now, it's been done before, piezoelectric pads in the sole of shoes, but I wanted to make them more modular. I'm all about modular and components and component pieces. I think it should be as a designer, one of the biggest philosophies that I have is that you should be able to replace a part versus having to throw away the full thing. Now, let's say that one of the piezoelectric pads stopped working or they weren't, charging things as efficiently. I wanted you to be able to pull out the piezoelectric pad and be able to replace it. So in my designer brain dreamland, I imagined having my studio, and let's say that you have an issue with the piezoelectric pad. Instead of you having to just throw away the whole shoe, you would send us one of your replacement or one of your broken piezoelectric pads. We would replace your piezoelectric pad at a discounted price, like a lot more discounted than buying a brand new one, so that way you don't have to buy a whole new shoe. During this process, it was very fun because this is the first time I started experimenting with rubbers. So I found a company in California that would send me different types of strengths of rubber, and I would experiment with the different strengths because a piezoelectric pad inside the shoe shouldn't be the same. Sorry, I'm blanking on the specific word. Let's just say strength as the outside of the shoe, because you want it to be able to have more flexibility to absorb the shock and the energy. And so I would experiment with different types of rubbers. As you can see in this slide, I experimented with putting the cast in, making casts of things, pouring the rubber on the top, and it was so much fun. Now, honestly, this was probably my most fun and frustrating project, because a lot of times what would happen is because you would mix part A with part B, it would cure very fast. So you had anywhere from 30 seconds to 50 seconds to stir everything. As soon as you stir everything, to actually pour it and then have it set, because even if you wait maybe 2 minutes, it may be already solidified inside the container that you had. So you had to work very fast to be able to get what you need. And the biggest issue is a shoe sole is a pretty big thing. So I would have to mix large amounts of rubber to be able to create the actual form. Another cool little aspect I thought about is maybe integrating like an LCD screen in it. Now, this is not efficient. It's not efficient for the energy either, but I think it just would be cool if you could go on an app on your phone and create different little images that you can flash across the shoe sole. And if anyone copies my idea, this is a time capsule for you. I know. This was my last project that I put inside this portfolio. See, I told you it was small. In this one, the concept is a battery reserve, not a battery pack, because I don't want it to be portable necessarily. I want it to be more of a stationary product. So the concept is like you're normally used to having a vase of flowers on your desk or your table or wherever you're at. But this concept was that the vase itself is actually a battery reserve. So you're able to charge your device with it. Like, let's say you're chilling and you need to leave because your Uber's about to pick you up. So you're just chilling or you're waiting and you just plug your phone in while you get a quick couple more minutes of charge, and you don't have any other battery packs around. You can just plug your phone in the middle of your room and start charging your phone from the vase. Or let's say you have a bunch of people over during a party, or you're like playing Uno cards or something, and they have the vase on the center of the table. Everyone can charge their phone from the vase. And how it would work is you can charge it normally through a normal plug-in wall adapter, and then you would have 2 USB-A ports in the back for people to charge the device. Now, I didn't put a USB-C in here. I probably should have. I really don't know why I didn't put a USB-C in here. In a perfect world, I'd put a USB-C and maybe 2 more ports for people. So it's meant to be more of a community battery reserve to help everyone. I created a blueprint for the vase to show, again, a little bit more of the technical skill. I did everything on my 3D printer, Monet. I miss you, girl. There's a picture of her. I ended up giving her away to one of my friends because I really don't believe if you buy something and you know that you can bless somebody or help somebody out with it, just give it to them. Like I do that. I did it with my 3D printer. I did it with my Xbox 360. It's like, if someone else can find more joy with it or can use it, like I'm not even in the United States anymore, so why would I have that just at my parents' house not doing anything? Which I want to get another 3D printer. Here, I wanted to go to my school to 3D print, but I can't get like a reservation. It's always booked, and so I think I might just need to get a 3D printer here and start creating my little projects here. But anyways, my last page is a contact page. Like I said, all the Zachology is dissolved. I don't really use that anymore. But just a big tip for you guys is always make sure that the links on your portfolio are linked. The reason why I say that is because the worst thing is when someone's viewing your portfolio and they want to see your website to see what else you have or whatever the case is. And worst case scenario is you can't even copy it because the way that the text is formatted, or it's just a unworking link. But when the link is there, you just click it and then it sends you directly to it. It just makes things a lot more smoother. Alrighty, that is the end of my portfolio. Like I said, it was short. It wasn't too many things. And also at the same time, when I had my website that was working for that specific link, I also shared a lot more stuff. So I showed the background of me doing the different experimentations with the rubber and me experimenting with different flashlights and different things that incorporate my portfolio that I felt like would have clogged my portfolio more than helped it, but it definitely was important to see. So if I were to grade myself on my portfolio, out of 10, I would give it, say, 6. Wasn't my best work? No. Have I improved a lot from it? Yes. So it was a successful portfolio in my opinion because I was able to learn from it, and ultimately I got accepted into the Politecnico. I hope that my next portfolio is a lot more refined. I hope in the future to keep experimenting with alternative energy products and the integration of, I guess, everything and everything. I don't know what exactly I'm going to be doing on with my next up and coming projects. If you guys have any questions about my portfolio, questions about the specific projects that I worked on, or how I was able to do different things, please let me know in the comments below. I'm going to probably do a separate video on my full entire application process to the Politecnico. Was it too difficult? Not really. I would recommend not waiting to the last minute to do everything because there's a lot of steps to finish everything. So just be prepared for that. But I wish you guys the best, especially if you're applying for the Politecnico or another design school. I know it can be rough to submit your portfolio, especially knowing that there's people looking at it and everybody judges their products and their projects a lot more harshly than other people from, an incoming view versus yourself. So I'd recommend don't be too hard on yourself. And if you feel like you're being overly critical of yourself, always take a break. Always take a break and come back, because you normally will surprise yourself on how critical you were, and it's normally not as bad as you think. So anyways, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Let me know if you have any more questions or any type of thing. I'm just excited for this format to be able to communicate with people. Let me know. Also, follow me on my social medias. I'm trying to get better at social media. My Instagram, I probably don't have any posts yet, but hit me up. And my TikTok. Actually, I should do like this. All right. I will talk to you later, and I'll see you in the next video.